The rain fell in heavy sheets that night, painting the city in silver streaks under the dim glow of streetlights. The world seemed to rush past, cars splashing through puddles, umbrellas bumping in the crowd, laughter and noise echoing from cafes and warm homes. But inside a small, flickering bakery near the edge of town, time stood painfully still. A man stood at the counter, his shoulders slumped, his clothes soaked through, and his voice trembling as he whispered, "I'm sorry. I have to cancel the order." The clerk looked up, startled. Just hours ago, this man had placed an order for a bright pink cake with "Happy Birthday, Lily" written in purple icing. It was meant for a little girl turning 6 the next morning. Now, as he spoke, defeat hung in the air like a heavy cloud. He looked like someone who had carried too many burdens for too long, a single father, worn by time, holding on to love as his only luxury. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and miracles in ordinary lives, take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Tales, because stories like this remind us that compassion can change everything. The man's name was Ethan Moore, a 34-year-old mechanic who had once dreamed of running his own auto repair shop. But life had other plans. After losing his wife, Claire, to a car accident 3 years earlier, he was left to raise his little daughter, Lily, on his own. Every day was a test, of strength, of faith, of endurance. He worked long hours at a rundown garage, fixing engines and changing tires while the world moved on without noticing. Money was always tight. Rent was late. Groceries were rationed. And yet, no matter how hard things got, Ethan made sure Lily never felt unloved. Lily was his sunshine, bright, curious, and endlessly forgiving. She never complained about second-hand clothes or simple meals. She just hugged her father every night and said, "You're my hero, Daddy." And for her 6th birthday, Ethan had promised her something special, a real birthday cake. Not homemade, not store-bought from discount shelves, but a beautiful one from a bakery she had seen on their way to school. Pink frosting, glitter sprinkles, and her name on top. For weeks, she had drawn pictures of it, told her dolls about it, and counted the days. But then, life did what it always seemed to do, it broke something. That morning, the garage owner told Ethan they'd lost a big client. Hours were being cut. His paycheck would be smaller. And to make matters worse, the electricity bill came due, threatening to shut off their lights if he didn't pay immediately. He stood in silence at his workbench, grease on his hands, his heart breaking as he realized there was no way to afford both the bill and the cake. That night, under the rain, he made the painful walk to the bakery to cancel the order. Inside, standing near the shelves stacked with pastries and fresh bread, a woman in a navy suit was waiting for her own order. She was tall, poised, and elegant, her presence commanding quiet respect. Her name was Olivia Grant, the CEO of a major tech firm headquartered nearby. She was the kind of woman the city admired, powerful, driven, and seemingly untouchable. But as she watched the soaked man at the counter struggle to form his words, something inside her stirred. He looked like he was fighting tears, clutching the small paper receipt like it was all he had left. He apologized to the clerk, explaining that something had come up, that he couldn't pay for the cake. His voice broke when he said his daughter's name, Lily. Then he tried to smile and said softly, "Maybe next year." The clerk nodded sympathetically and offered to cancel the order, but Olivia couldn't move. Her chest tightened. She had seen boardroom battles, corporate betrayals, and negotiations worth millions, but nothing had pierced her heart like that one sentence, "Maybe next year." Olivia had grown up poor herself. Her mother had cleaned offices at night while Olivia studied under the dim kitchen light. She remembered birthdays where there were no gifts, only a small cupcake her mother could afford. And she remembered the promise she made to herself back then, that one day, she'd make it big enough to never feel small again. But success had a price. In her climb to the top, she had lost touch with people like Ethan, the one still fighting just to get through the day. As Ethan left the bakery, shoulders bowed, Olivia made a decision before she even knew she had made it. She stepped to the counter, asked the clerk for the cancelled order, and paid for it herself. But she didn't stop there. She asked for the address listed on the receipt, told the baker to finish the cake exactly as it was meant to be, and to deliver it in the morning, anonymously. Add some balloons, she said softly, and a small card that says, "Never stop believing in magic." The next morning, Lily woke up to the sound of the doorbell. She ran to the door in her pajamas, her hair in messy curls, and gasped when she saw the delivery box. Ethan froze. The bakery's logo was printed on the side. When they opened it, Lily squealed with joy. It was her pink cake, exactly how she had dreamed it. "Daddy, you did it," she cried, wrapping her arms around his waist. Ethan didn't know what to say. There was no note, no explanation, just a card with those 7 words. That night, as Lily fell asleep with a frosting-stained smile, Ethan sat by the window staring at the city lights, wondering who could have done it. Deep down, he whispered a quiet thank you to whoever had sent that small miracle. Meanwhile, Olivia couldn't stop thinking about the man and his daughter. The image haunted her, not out of pity, but something deeper. A reminder that no matter how high she climbed, she was still human. That weekend, she asked her assistant to help her locate the garage Ethan worked at. When she arrived, dressed down in jeans and a sweater, the workers barely recognized her as the same woman who graced magazine covers. She watched from a distance as Ethan patiently fixed an old van, his hands steady, his expression focused despite exhaustion written across his face. When she finally approached him, she introduced herself simply as Olivia, not revealing who she truly was. They talked about work, about life, about how hard it is to keep going when everything seems to crumble. Ethan was humble, honest, and kind, the kind of man who deserved far more than what life had given him. Before leaving, Olivia handed him her card, saying she might have an opportunity for him at a new logistics department her company was starting. "Just come by," she said with a warm smile. Weeks passed, and Ethan hesitated, unsure if it was real. But with some encouragement from Lily, he finally went. What awaited him was beyond anything he could have imagined. Olivia, now back in her CEO role, personally welcomed him to her office. She told him the truth, that she was the one who paid for the cake, and that she believed people like him deserved a real chance. She offered him a job as a maintenance supervisor, with full benefits and stability. Ethan's eyes filled with tears as he shook her hand, barely able to speak. The months that followed changed everything. Ethan began to rebuild his life. He could finally afford a proper home, pay bills on time, and give Lily the life she deserved. She started a new school, made new friends, and every night she prayed for the cake angel, who had helped them. Olivia visited often. She and Lily became close, sharing stories, laughter, and quiet moments that slowly healed something broken in all of them. What began as an act of kindness became a bond that changed their lives forever. Olivia learned that success means nothing without compassion, and Ethan learned that miracles often come from the most unexpected places. Months later, on Lily's 7th birthday, they gathered again, this time in a small park filled with balloons, laughter, and sunlight. Olivia helped Lily cut the cake as Ethan watched, eyes glistening with gratitude. For the first time in years, his heart felt light. And as they stood there, smiling beneath the fading glow of dusk, it wasn't just a birthday being celebrated, it was hope, humanity, and the quiet power of kindness. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Tales, because your engagement helps more people believe that one small act of kindness can change a life forever. Speech balloon special request: before you scroll away, share your thoughts in the comments. What's the kindest thing a stranger has ever done for you? Your story might inspire someone else to believe again.